They are losing their minds. The Democrats are absolutely apoplectic. They're beside themselves. They are discombobulated. And that makes them very scary. That makes them very, very scary. And when they get scary, I get scared. I think, "Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no." A lot can happen, my friends. Welcome aboard this eve. So glad to see members of our family here, and you are our family with 126 days to go until the election. I am so glad to be here with you yet again and to see everybody here because we are a family. It is so wonderful and so rich and rewarding to see the amenities and the hellos and the friendliness. I happen to check into other from time to time some other live streams, and the hosts don't pay really any attention to anybody. They don't have like Smiling Susan, Demetrius Splitkin, who's been look at this Georgie, Gracie Loves Georgie, Nightingale's here, Solak, Faye, the whole crew. I love the way you speak to each other, you say hello, and it's like I would love to think that many of you would even communicate with each other during the day or when we're not here. But in any event, we're here for a bigger and a greater reason than our particular friendship, which is very, very important, certainly. And that is to see this president, the only president I know, Donald John Trump, march to victory. It's all changing. Judge Mershon has put this sentencing off until what, September? They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. I mean, not only is there the immunity issue, which these people don't seem to understand. It's nothing. It's not even a big deal. That presidents, while acting in their capacity as president, should be immune from criminal liability, criminal exposure, if they are acting as a president. When Barack Obama ordered the assassination of an American citizen, al-Awlaki, in 2001, do you think Obama should be subject to criminal prosecution for that? He was acting in the capacity of president, even though it could be a whack job, even though it's nuts, even though presidents go to war. President Lyndon Johnson basically was responsible for tens of thousands of Americans killed because he didn't want to be the only or the first president to lose a war. That wasn't criminal. That was within the parameters of being a president. It was needless. It was absolutely needless. And it's very clear, and we've known this. Do you think that President Bush should have been subject to criminal prosecution in the case of Jose Padilla, an American citizen born, I think, in the Bronx or Brooklyn, picked up at O'Hare Airport as an enemy combatant? Remember ex rel Quirin, the notion of the enemy combatant? It is absurd to think that a president could possibly ever do his or her job and have the specter and the fear of criminal prosecution hang over them. And what that dingbat Sotomayor doesn't understand, and by the by, you know her story. She's not exactly a wizard, okay? There were other people doing a little research, digging in. It seems that other people like Larry Tribe and others had asked, President Obama, you might want to know some results. He is no whiz bang in the least, okay? We're not talking about Cardozos or Brandeises and Frankfurters. We're talking about Sotomayor, who is not a I mean, she's not stupid, but what she wrote is bizarre. Next, they want to destroy and to kill everything involving Rudy. They want to destroy. They're taking his law, they're disbarring him for what? For what? Disbarring him? Our good friend Park Nelson says, "I love your style. Well, I pray that Biden stays in the presidential race so that Trump can more easily win the election. You're gonna get your way, my friend. We're gonna talk about that, Park, and I thank you for your kindness, sir." How about a big hand for Mr. Park Nelson, ladies and gentlemen? Number 15 in your program, number 1 in your hearts, and I mean that sincerely. What they did to Rudy Giuliani is disgusting. Disbarment? You mean to tell me that the cases that he brought were so bereft of either probable cause or justiciability that a suspension wouldn't have warranted that? There are lawyers who steal from clients. There are people who look at the cruise. Look at the I don't wanna I don't wanna go through that. It breaks my heart as a New Yorker when I realize what that man did to save this city. Look at the way they treat him. Next, next, you're gonna love this one. Ladies and gentlemen, it got even better because what we're seeing right now is it is catastrophic. The debate was bad. The aftermath is even worse. And what you're going to be seeing, my dear friend, is this overkill by people who are going to be putting Trump, Biden on the stage, so to speak, never alive, in more pre-recorded and recorded stuff you can imagine. And by the way, enough with this orange man stuff. They're spray painting. They got the mortician applying pancake makeup to this walking cadaver. It's the most obvious thing anybody's ever seen. Do you see what's happening? They're doing it to him now. These people are just it's caught up with them. And then we have White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, AKA the Wig. She went berserk at Newsmax White House correspondent James Rosen as he apparently shouted out a question or a comment or something about President Biden's declining cognitive health. And reporters were pestering her and going after her about the president's mental health following the disaster Thursday night, the disaster. And it was horrible. And Jean-Pierre said the president had a bad night and asserted again he suffered from a cold. Do you hear me? Quote, "And we are acknowledging what people are seeing, but we do believe this was in this instance, it was a bad night." Well, thank you. Is he disabled? Is the president disabled? This is what Rosen asked. She went berserk. "No, and let me finish with your colleague, please," she said. "I know, but shouting out, 'Come on, you know better, come on.'" She's losing it. The other reporter that was there asked why the president didn't reach out to the Democratic members of Congress following the debate, which is normally the case. And Numbnut said that while the president has a great degree of respect for the leaders on Capitol Hill, he had been on a schedule, engaging with the leaders through high level members of his team. What does this mean? There was Biden talking about him with his voice. He seemed tired, out of focus, debilitated, wizened by decrepitude, hobbled, dare I say, this dotard, where he struggled to finish complete sentences. I mean, everybody's going crazy. Big Wall Street donors, people are yelling, "Get rid of him!" Then the polls found the majority of voters doubt of what's going on, and it's unbelievable. Then you're gonna I mean, the pressure is incredible. If you thought his debate was bad, the Tuesday night was even worse. It was horrible. 24 hours after, 24 hours after this orange, by the way, a wonderful word is, well, naranja is orange, but this wonderful, almost like a he looked like he was Billy Rubin, like he was not bilious, but he had this orange, kind of a hue to him, you know? It sure beats the usual yellowed. Um, it's a wonderful word for yellowed, skin, xanthodermic, Xantho. I know many of you love, that particular aspect of it. Pilgrim Media says, "Where did you do your radio shows in the '90s?" Um, I did some in Tampa, then New York, WABC, WOR, other places as well. I mean, that was pretty much did some other places that are I have to stop and think about it because it was that memorable. Thank you for that question, sir. But let's go back to what's going on right now. When Biden came out again, there was that voice thing that freaked people out. And what happened was he didn't know the president seemed on 24 hours later more tanned. Remember that one? He gave these quote unplanned remarks on Monday to address the Supreme Court's ruling, but he did it behind the podium using a teleprompter and walked off and looked worse. Since his first major appearance after the debate, Karine Jean-Pierre is getting questions about dementia. It's the most incredible thing. Then listen to this. Listen to this one. This blows my mind. This is how gone these people are. NBC reported that Hunter Biden, recently the convicted felon on 3 gun charges, that Hunter Biden, has now been joining his father in meetings with top aides. Apparently, he started popping in on calls and meetings with his father because his family doesn't trust him. A person familiar with the matter said, "What the hell is happening?" And the White House is saying, "What is he doing?" Jean-Pierre, Karine Jean-Pierre, AKA the wig, who said she saw, the reporting about this, told reporters that Hunter had come off a vacation with his dad at Camp David. Nobody goes to Camp David for a vacation. Nobody. Nobody. And he said he did attend something. But the article was not the first time that the press secretary had to respond to this reporting. She doesn't know what she's doing. And what they're doing right now is the theme is that the Biden family is saying, "We need family folks there because we don't trust his staff." Can you believe this? Can you believe what we're saying? Can you believe what we're saying? It's incredible. Major Michael says, "One slime ball isn't gonna step aside for another." Interesting. A most interesting take, I say to you. Now let's go back to what's going on. Let me remind you, and first of all, thank you very much, Major Michael, I appreciate it. Let's go back to what's going on here. There is no cogent strategizing. There are no people who sit back and say to themselves, "Let's figure this thing out. Let's figure out what's the best way to handle this." They don't do that. They're not interested, not at all. They do things that defy any and all logic. What I'm hearing and what people are telling me and others around here is that they're going to push him out more. Now, granted, these are not going to be the usual types of they're not going to be I'm trying to say, they're not gonna be the usual, give and take where he shows up and he does his thing. No, no, no. They're not gonna be doing that at all. They're not interested in that. They're gonna be doing something to create this impression that he's here, and then you're gonna see people like Van Jones, who have been scolded and chided by the Democratic big shots, and they've been told, and he's been saying, he's doing great. They're gonna come out and actually lie. They're going to come out and lie. Do you hear what I'm saying? They're going to come out and lie. It's the most incredible thing anybody's ever seen. They're going to come out and say, he is terrific. He's never been sharper. He's going to be meeting with George Stephanopoulos in this recorded thing there to give him all the questions. They're going to dose the Adderall correctly to make sure that he looks. By the way, that's the problem. The dosing was all wrong. It was just wrong. Something was wrong. Another thing, people are going to be watching everything he says and does. Every syllable, every comment, every whisper, the watery eyes, the inability to fixate, affect. He won't be able to pick his shoes up. He's sliding. Rumor has it, and this has been the case for the longest time, what White House doctors have said. Listen to me. What doctors have said quietly is that he needs a walker. They are so afraid he's going to fall. They are petrified he's going to fall. When older people fall and they're showing signs of senescence, hit their noggin or whatever it is. Forget the political imagery of it, but they're worried about his health. The White House communications folks said, under no circumstances is he going to be behind a walker. That's it. If he does, that's it. And they're saying, but you're risking his life. They're saying, we don't care about his life. We don't care about his life. You know who else doesn't care? That Harridan, that termagant, Jill, the Edith Wilson of this. She doesn't want this either. She's saying, oh, he's fine. Right, Joe? Come on, Joe, let's go. Let me tell you something. This is it for her. This is it. She loves this. Now, there's always been strong women. There was, I think, probably the most loving and strong of all was Nancy Reagan, especially after Reagan was shot, and they had that. Remember, they had that blood transfusion issue where they introduced blood that wasn't warmed or something to that effect, which may have precipitated and accelerated his own cognitive problems. Maybe not. She also didn't trust the people surrounding him. Reagan had the most loyal people. Deaver, Len Nafziger, Meese. By the way, Meese is still around. You know, Ed Meese is he and Mukasey rather filed either an amicus brief or something in the immunity case. Ed Meese is 92, 3, something like that. In any event, Reagan came from California, and he had loyal people that were with him, people who really loved him, he had a Jim Baker, which is wonderful. Jim Baker was the one who helped him negotiate Congress. It was beautiful. Biden's got nobody. Biden's got nobody. And now that the Republicans are smelling victory, these rat bastard quislings who for the longest time turned their back on President Trump, now they're coming on board. Hey, can we help? Not so fast. Not so fast. So what's happening right now is they're asking, who is behind Joe Biden? Whom does he trust? Family? Brother? Who? Don't know. There's nobody there. Now, my friends, let's go back to square one. This is what you want to know, and this is important. There's also some great news, too, about other things which I don't think are as exciting as this. Number one, is Biden going to handle? Is Biden able to handle 126 days until the election? The real question that you've got to ask is, look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. I think Errol Garner said the best. Are you able to say not whether he can make 126 days, but can he be the president of the United States? You look at us. I look at everyone there. Karine Jean-Pierre, you miserable, mendacious, you're a con. You're the Bernie Madoff of information. Nothing. This is a Ponzi scheme. You're a liar. You are a liar. Jen Psaki, it was a liar. Everything about you is a liar. The Democratic Party is falling apart. You don't even care about him. Frankly, nobody likes him. Nobody cares for him. He was a cutout, a placeholder. He was animatronic. He was an automatic pen. He was there for no other reason than just to sign bills, to do what he was told. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? So the question number one is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? Really, the question is he able to be president? No. So why aren't they changing their minds? How can anybody not be saying right now that he is able to do this? Karine Jean-Pierre, how can you or Joe or anybody look at the American people? We're not just passing comments on some old guy. We're talking about somebody who theoretically is running this country. They don't care about anything. Who is running this country? What do you think would happen right now? Let's assume, as we speak, Hezbollah decides, okay, now's the time to do it. Out of Lebanon, let's let Israel have it. Big time, bigly. Hezbollah is serious. People have this idea that these are a bunch of ragtag folks. They've got 100, who knows, close from, I have no idea how many missiles they have. But if they just let Israel have it, what happens then? Israel picks up the phone. Is Bibi still on his way? Is he going to meet with Biden? Is he even, what do we do? What happens if right now somebody does something real stupid regarding Ukraine? NATO figures out kind of a Newland. By the way, Newland's still in charge, even though she's not there. She's still pulling the strings. She's a puppeteer. She's the Geppetto to NATO's Pinocchio. But anyway, what happens if they say, you know what, let's go for broke. Let's do something. NATO orders Zelensky or somebody to really provoke Russia. Really. And Russia said, as any country would do, if you push us, do not think that tactical nuclear weapons are not in the offing. For any country, do not think that. We did it twice. We'll do it. You got one of these Davy Crockett recoilless things. Oh, you can wreak havoc with us. But what happens then? What happens if somebody turns to the United States, they see this enfeebled coot, and they say, now's the time to act? Who looks out for us? Who? This can't be as serious. Who's running the show? Who? dingbat, that laughing fool. Did you see this latest thing? Who was she doing that? She was with pretending some with some. Oh, the BET award. Taraji Henson. Who? Yeah, yeah. We saw it was horrible. FaceTime. Hey, girl. They are so clueless. These people. They are so clueless. And I want to say, hey, Black America. She's a sellout. She has no interest in you whatsoever. She is nothing. When she is a phone, and if you can't tell a phony, I don't know what it is. And when she does it, hey, when she does this down, no, 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 stop it. How is Black America even buying any of this stuff? They have been completely sabotaged and ignored by this administration because all of the money and all the effort and all of the focus is on, and you know it and I know it, it's on illegals. That's what it is. But anyway, so that's that. So then we have this, we have that first. Let's do a poll right now, my friends. Do you think Joe Biden is in it for the duration? Yes or no? Not can he, not whether you want him to, not whether it's in his best interest. Do you think he will be on the ballot in November? Do you think yes or no? Not what you think, not what's good for the country, not what's good for him. Will he be just predicted? You've got to bet. Do you think? Okay, let me ask people. Sherry and let me see, who was it? Eric and others. You say, Marisa, say no. Why do you say no? Why do you say no? I like says, you're not the boss of me, says, there's no telling. I like that. That's another way of saying, I don't know. Good. You want to do that? Terrific. Who says no? Okay, you want to say no? Let me go here. Let me look. Okay. Eddie Mitchell. Ed Weird Mitchell. Okay, Ed Weird. Do yourself a favor. I want you to go in and I want you to tell Obama. I want you to tell Clinton. I want you to tell all of the super duper deep state usual suspects that he's not going to be there. Go ahead and tell him. Tell him that. And watch their expression. They'll say, what are you talking about? Yeah, all of your influence is gone. And who do you think is going to be the replacement? Who? Who's going to be the replacement? There's a sick part of me that says, please let it be Gavin Newsom. Please. Because you know he's going to be owned. You know. Who's got all the tapes? Everybody's got tapes. He and that Kimberly, when they were, these are freaks. These are freaks. Who's got all that? They've been talking about that forever. Who's got that one? I think I know. I mentioned that on my private channel. I think we know about that one. They own him. Thomas DeMayo's a new member. Welcome, Tommy. Who? Who's it going to be? Whitmer? Gretchen Whitmer, she said, well, I don't know if this country is ready for a woman yet. She's giving the usual, I'm not interested, that kind of stuff. I've been telling you that, not that I want this, not that this is best, but it's going to be that it's always been, and I've always said Gretchen Whitmer and Gavin Newsom. Now let me explain something. You're going to go and you're going to meet with Obama. You're going to go and tell him this. You're going to say, Mr. President, yeah. Listen, Joe's not going to be in. Really? Yeah. So you're going to turn this over to who? The California group? No, you're not. No, you're not. No. Who? The Gettys? No. No. Who? Balthazar and those guys? No. Because they own, Gavin. They know all the dirt. They got all this stuff. They own. That is you're going to replace. Say what you want about Biden. He's an SOB, but he's our SOB. Better have him on the inside pissing out than the outside pissing. Remember that one? Okay. You want to remove and you want to bring in Newsom? Do you know what this is? And I told you this morning, wait until you hear the conflation of, number one, the information that is going to be either released or threatened to be released regarding that particular individual who met a most untimely fate while he was in federal custody, whose name I cannot state. Remember that? Remember that guy? Where's all his stuff? Where are those? How long have I been saying this? I sound like Alan Dershowitz. I predicted that. Alan Dershowitz predicted everything. I knew that. I knew that. I said that. I did it. I said it. I'm a genius. I'm Alan Dershowitz. I'm a genius. Really? Oh, I'm a genius. Really? Oh, yeah, yeah. You are? Oh, sure. Genius. Okay. You really are that much? Oh, I'm a genius. I know everything. I'm Alan Dershowitz. I'm a genius. I know everything. Okay, fine. Now, so what scares me is that who runs the country? So you got a whole bunch of people who say, let me explain this to you, son. Ed Weird. Let me explain this to you. We don't care whether Joe can identify where he is, can point, can recognize family members. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care whether he sniffs people's hair. We don't care whether he goes after kids. We don't care how he showered with his daughter. We don't care about the Tara Reid thing. We don't care about any of that. We don't care about documents he took. We don't care about his son. We don't care about, he's our guy. And anything we want him to do, he'll do because we own him. We own him. We own him because of the son, because of the laptop, because of everything. We are not going to give that up and enter somebody else whom we don't control, but is controlled by other people. We're not going to have this infusion of the California Mafia group. Who are these people? No, we're staying right here with him. And I don't care if they have to drag Joe to the, if they have him on a gurney, if he's on life supports, if he beep, if he has a ventilator, if they have organ donor cards, if did you ever go into one of those sad rooms that goes, my name is Jerry. This is my, and this is for the staff who says, hello, Jerry. You know how they yell at older people who were senescent, good morning, Jerry. Wow. Sad. Let me tell you this again. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. They're going to look at you and they say, he's not going anywhere. Yeah, but he's not going to win. We don't care whether he's going to win. We don't care. We don't care. We're going to take this all the way. We want him. We're going to do as many last minute not pocket vetoes, but we're going to do as many. We're going to do pardons, and we're going to sign executive orders and PDDs, presidential daily directives, signing statements. We're going to take him all the way. Okay. Next, if you're Gavin Newsom or somebody else, you're going to say, this isn't the way I want to do this. This isn't the way I want to do this. I don't want to pick up the pieces after this guy. I don't want to be up there and they're asking me, so do you think President Biden is okay? Well, yeah, he is. Then what the hell are you doing here? No, you're right. No, he's not okay. Then why the hell did you say he was okay? Just the other day you said he's fine. Now you say he's not. So what's it going to be? No, that's not it. Well, why are you here? How long have you known about this? Why have we heard today he scheduled his he cleared off his schedule for the next, I don't know, 2 weeks or whatever it is. This is all coming in. There's also intel about media buys and the like. Now let me also tell you something. Harvey Weinstein comes in. Harvey Weinstein's going to have a ball. Harvey Weinstein knows more dirt and more. Do you know what they've got on Gavin Newsom, the mayor of San Francisco, the mayor and the governor? When he was married to that, remember when they were No, you remember those photos, honey, where they were like on the carpet and looking, oh, how sexy we are. Oh, these guys were like three-peckered goats. These were like alley cats. Are you kidding me? You don't think there's any films of that, do you? No. Do you? You don't think so, do you? You don't think you don't think they'd be that crazy during that whole deal. So I told you, now we're going to bring in Willie Brown. You've got a lovely daughter. You know him and Willie, right? Willie Brown was responsible for Kamala Harris. You remember that? Kamala Harris, who also was a big friend of Montel. Major Michael says DNC took their shot post-debate, shot and missed. Well, remember, they're not, it's one or the other, Michael. It's one or the other. They continue with Biden or they switch in midstream. And if they switch in midstream, what's their story? How did they? You lied to us. And you're lying about this guy. And there are people who are actually saying that all of a sudden, for the first time, they've realized there's something wrong with them. Now, here's what happens. Trump is doing better than anything I'm telling you. I imagine that one day there was a I don't ever want to joke around about God because that people take it very seriously. I don't want to be sacrilegious. But I will tell you this much. I have this fantasy where one day President Trump has a vision and he hears a voice and the voice says, "You've been through enough." Major Michael says Biden ain't giving up pledged delegates. He'll release them. If he's told to, he will. Oh, he will. If they tell him. Remember, this is not about Biden. And I'm glad you brought that up, Mike. Biden has no say in this. It doesn't matter what he says, what he thinks. If you think he's going to sit back, if you think he's going to say, I'm not going to do this. Really? Really, Joe? You're not going to do this? No way. Okay. All right. You do know what we're capable of doing, right? You do know what we've done. And they do stuff in the open. He knows that. Biden knows that. Biden knows it. Biden is not going to say, I'm going to do this come hell or high water. I'm going to go to that convention and I'm going to get booed. And they're going to also make the convention, they're going to move it ahead so that he locks in the nomination. They're also going to make it more remote so they get rid of all of the stuff they're going to claim, COVID or whatever it is. Oh, you see what you're doing, and I don't blame you, is you're applying common sense. You're applying common sense. You're saying, well, he can't do that because he's obviously too gone. That's common sense. Common sense has nothing to do with it. He's been doing this forever. Let me see if I can explain this to you. But let me go back to my fantasy. Not my fantasy, my thing. One day, President Trump is at Mar-a-Lago, and all of a sudden there's a light, a voice. And this voice says, you've suffered enough. It's about time you win. Watch this. I'll take care of everything. It'll be like a cascade. Are you who I think I am? You are? Doesn't matter who I am. Let me just tell you, I'll take care of everything. First thing, little bit of advice. Whatever you do, don't miss the debate. Oh, and one more thing, Mr. President, yeah. Do yourself a favor. Let him talk. I granted you some wishes you don't even know about. Number one, I made sure that these people were stupid enough to waive a studio audience. What do you mean? Simple. Imagine the night of the debate. If Biden said, and people said, yeah. And that might have helped him. They might have said, okay, maybe. He's got some support. He wasn't that bad. The fans sure like him. The fans sure love that diamond vision. Right? Had there been a... Yes! Excellent! How's it going? You're fellow. Ooh! Boy, the Think I'm kidding? But that's not what happened. Mr. President, I'm giving them what they wanted. These idiots decided they were going to have no audience, so that when the cadaver spoke, it just echoed. It echoed. And you aren't going to say anything. You might slip into Brandon. Did you catch that? Calling him Brandon. I think I heard. I think I heard that. And then you're going to mention something about the handicap. And you're going to say, we're acting like children. That was the best line in the world. We're acting like children. And you're also going to say something to the effect of, I don't know what he said. I don't think he does either. And that's going to be it. You're going to be respectful. And you're going to let him twist in the wind. You hear me? Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Don't respond. Don't get angry. Don't go for the throat. Don't go for the kill. Don't be snarky. You don't have to bring up anything. Not Hunter. They know all that. They know all about that. They know that. Just, in essence, you're doing this. Couldn't have said it better myself. Or, easy for you to say, that's it. He is on display. And because of these idiots, because they let this cavernous room just echo the vapidity, the insipidity, the vacuousness. It's the greatest thing in the world. That's number one. Number two, Mr. President, I fixed it so that all of the cases fall apart. We got that E. Jean Carroll case. I don't know what to do, but the bottom line is the history books will say you were sued by a nut who is a bona fide, certified lunatic, a nutcase, who, when this victim won, she won on Rachel Maddow, along with her lawyer, who was saying, no. And you're going to get a car. And this is, Rachel, do you want a motorcycle? I'll get you what you want because I'm the victim. Huh? That was me, Mr. President. As far as the case involving Judge Engeron and Letitia James, nobody knows what the hell that's about. Nobody even understands it. I don't understand it, and I'm the big guy. I'm really the big guy. So those two are out of the way. Mr. President, you have 4 remaining criminal charges. Number 1, you've got this Fannie Wilson. What? You see what I did with that one? I let Fannie be Fannie. I took this entitled brat, this self-absorbed, entitled, arrogant, mean girl, idiot. And I let her and Loverboy just destroy everything. And I had her get on the stand and perjure herself. So that thing is gone. Believe me. It's a dog. The case has lost interest. It's lost momentum. It's a dog. All they're going to think about is Fannie and Numbnuts, who did 2 interviews. No, 3. One with ABC, one with that Caitlin, that mean looking. She's like the meanest. Doesn't she look like her? And then finally with Thron, Mr. Wayans. Okay? This is so took care of that. Next, we got Jack Smith, who's an idiot. He's an idiot. They pulled him out of The Hague. He destroyed the Mar-a-Lago case. Took pictures of stuff that's not there. How do you screw that up? It's a documents case. If you have one document, that's it. Just one. You find one, that's the charge. No, but they had to take pictures in the bathroom. That was his personal stuff. He's an idiot. Then you got, thank God, you got Judge Cannon, who's put that on hold. Then you got the January 6th case in D.C., and that's a dog, because the Supreme Court sent it back to her, and she's got to go through this stuff and say, oh, God, I've got to sort through this and find out what is and isn't within the scope of the presidential authority. Oh, my God. Okay, we'll do that. And then we do that one. And then we've got New York. Pilgrim says, I want President Trump to say that dog don't hunt. Indeed. Or sometimes it bees like that. Or my favorite, out of my two favorite ones, this one I like, the rules have changed. Anyway. So then we have this final case, Judge Mershon, that dog of a case that nobody can understand. The best one, did you see, I happened to see Megyn Kelly and Dan Abrams together in a debate? Oh my God. I don't think Dan Abrams knew what the hell was, I don't think he knew what the hell was going on. I don't think he knew what, I don't think he knew what the hell he was talking about. Nobody understands what this case is. So that case has been put off till September. It's never going to, it's a dog. It lost its momentum. Mr. President, there is a God. He smiled on you. You've had the best of luck. They went at, of course, you've lost billions of dollars. They had nothing on you. The full faith and credit of the United States government. Remember, these folks fought 2 world wars and they print their own money. And this is the best they can do? Jack Smith with his piece of gaga. Huh? It's the greatest thing ever. Convicted felon, I guess. Of what? I'm not really sure. It's a dog. It's an absolute dog. And then when all is said and done, he and the rest of the world are going to look at people like Mershon and Alvin Bragg and Colangelo from the DOJ, and they're going to say, "Do you get your money's worth of this one? What did you accomplish? What did you accomplish? What were you doing? What did you accomplish? You wasted so much time." Do you hear what I'm saying? He stuck through it. He didn't give up. And he had the most incompetent, stupid enemies come at him. There is a God. I am happier than anything you can imagine. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to even remotely assess this. He's going to win. Do you hear what I'm saying? I don't think you understand this. Either way, he's going to win. And whether it's Joe Biden's on the ballot, whether it's Gavin Newsom, it's over. Imagine being Gavin Newsom and saying, "Oh, you, who are you? Yeah, I'm this. We didn't want you. Yeah, but I'm here. Well, what are you doing? Well, I'm the, it's like you have a date or something and the date is involved in a car accident and some other guy shows up or a woman. I'm trying to think of the analogy. Who are you? I don't know anything about you. Who are you? I'm Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom? Who's Gavin Newsom? I'm the governor of California. Oh, that's not good. He's going to have what from now? They have 126 days to put anybody, Gavin Newsom, Gretchen, who are they going to put on? What are they going to say? Pilgrim says, who will be Trump's junkyard dog attorney general? We'll get to that later. I hope he has a junkyard dog. I hope so. He's going to have to unravel this deep state contamination, Pilgrim. He's going to have to undo all of these people that are there. The judges, the career DOJ, the real deep state, the ones who are there. We'll get to that later. I told you who I want as the Secretary of Defense is McGregor. Mearsheimer, oh my God. Mearsheimer as Secretary of State Do you know what would happen? Do you know what NATO will do if it's Mearsheimer? What BB will do? And by the way, is BB still coming? What does he do? What does he, how does, what happens with that? You're going to what, yell at him? The whole mood is weird. You're going to meet with him, and BB's going to be in the Oval Office with this guy. Everything's changed. Everything has changed. Who for VP? Howard, remember this. The number one, and thank you, by the way, the number one requirement for vice president is to be able, in this case, with a 78-year-old man, to be able to take over in case something happens. That's all. That's all. Things happen very, very quickly. The majority of people, the majority of folks who have coronary incidents usually have no signs, no, any indication of anything. It's a crapshoot. That's life. So you've got to figure out, that's death also. So you got to figure out somebody who is ready to do it, who's ready to do it, to take over immediately. Somebody who is not somebody who is just, well, it's a black woman or it's a gay man with a nose ring. No, you can do DEI and demographics. It's somebody who is able to take over. Let me ask you something. In your life, who was the most effective vice presidents? Hubert Humphrey, Lyndon Johnson. I'm trying to think of some other really good ones that were really probably George Bush. Maybe, he kind of knew that, because I want somebody who is able to handle Washington, somebody who's able to jump in. This Burgum and other people, I don't know if they can do this stuff, to just walk in and say, do you know what it means to be president? Do you know what it means? Trump took his first 4 years to figure out what to do, what not to do. The person that I've always liked, who I think is good, not because of any kind of racial reason, is Ben Carson. Ben Carson, I think, has the authority, the intelligence, the wherewithal, the wisdom to be able to deal with this. Ask yourself the question: who would be able to sit across from Putin or Xi Jinping or Milei from Argentina or deal with Macron? Who? Notice how I say Macron. Notice how I do that. That's my French. I speak French fluently. Macron. You ever have people who tell you they speak French and they don't? And you say, why are you saying that? I speak French. You don't speak French. I sure do. No, you don't. I sure do. Maybe you're lucky. I know people who just claim to do stuff. So we can talk about vice presidents all day long. Most people will say things like, well, I like him. Tim Scott? No. I don't want anybody with issues. I don't want anybody with problems. I don't want anybody who is blackmailable. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't like that. I don't want to go too much into detail, but there's one thing I always liked about Pete Booty Giggity Giggity. The only thing I liked him, he goes, hey, I'm gay. I said, oh, yeah. Oh, he let you know, all right. He let you know 100%. I don't want to get somebody who all of a sudden just, I don't want him. I don't want to get that like weird. I don't want people with stuff they got to worry about. They're blackmailable. Gates, keep an eye on him. So we can talk about that later on. I have no idea. Trump is a very strange in some respects. He either likes people who are young and handsome looking or people who are rich. He needs to have a wise man. He needs to have, like Reagan had, the kitchen cabinet and that sort of thing. Now remember, Trump also has to not bring up Joe's senescence. You don't have to do it. Let me say this again. It's going to take everything in his power to not do this. It's going to take everything about him. Do not bring up, there's no need to. You don't need to do it. And also, somebody tell Don Jr., shut up. No sarcastic tweets. Don't make fun of him. Don't make fun of him. People have parents. People have grandparents. Many people feel very, very sad. And you're going to get some people who are going to come over from the Democratic side because the Democrats have lied to them and they've abandoned them. Think about this. You're a Democrat and you have been told everything's groovy, everything's fine, no problem. And they've lied to you the whole time. There is a very real possibility, a very real and legitimate possibility where somebody could say, you know what, I'm voting for Trump. I know people aren't going to believe that, but it's absolutely true. And you'll kill that by making fun. You don't have to make fun of him. He does it by himself. In fact, just shake your head. That's it. It's the worst thing you can do. Just and wish him well and be nice. You don't have to. The Democrats are doing it for you. But remember, worldview. 3 topics. Every time he speaks, I want to hear more of the president. I want to hear more from him. I don't want him to talk about Joe Biden. I want to talk about the border. But don't talk about the border. Don't talk about the border as though we just don't like foreigners in here. We're talking about criminals. If the border, if hypothetically we had tens of thousands of university educated family people who spoke multiple languages and would add tremendous to our culture, I say, let them in, green light them. This is terrific. It's not the border. It's the scum that's coming in. Not everybody, but too many of them. So let me just say, Mr. President, don't call this about immigration. Say it what it is. Criminals being invited in the way the Capitol Police invited those protesters into the Capitol. That's what this is about. Call it the way it is. Don't use words like immigrate. It's not immigration. It's nothing to do with immigration. It's not even about the border. It's not the border. It's I don't care if these people fly in, cross the Rio Grande, take a Greyhound bus through Canada. I don't care how they get here. We have very dangerous people who are here. Number one. And that's a combination of that and crime. And I'm telling you right now, believe it or not, do you ever watch this great show, Sky News on Australia? Lefties Gone Wild or whatever it is. The thing that they can't figure out, did you see the number of people, and where were they walking nude? Was it San Francisco or LA? Where were people during the gay pride parade walking nude? Was that LA or San Francisco? The thing which is the most, and listen to what I'm saying, the thing which is the most effective, believe it or not, the thing which is the most effective and the best thing you can possibly say is to say, ladies and gentlemen, these people are sick. They are crazy. I don't know what happened to them. I don't know where they went. I don't know what happened. Something bad happened to their judgment, their sense of, they go out of their way to embrace this weird weird, depraved lunacy. And guess whom they are targeting? Me? You? No. Children. Imagine you grow up and this is what they're telling you. This is normal. Hey, you want to be like us? Completely okay. Walk down the street naked? Completely okay. Be confused over gender? I'm telling you, I'm going to say this. Don't think Larry Kudlow, that boring stuff. We got Art Laffer on. We're talking about inflation is 2.3. That's not what people want. Stop that. That's that business stuff. Nobody talks about that. Give them something that's very simple. These people are sick and they're just getting started. If you get and you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. My theme, my question is, do you want 4 more years of this? Do you want it? And fill in the scatological reference you want. Do you want 4 more years? You tell me. They're just getting started. Imagine 4 more years. Okay? They want to go after our military, teachers, families. They want to destroy everything. They want to infiltrate us with this brand of lunatic. I don't know where they're coming from. Even gay folks are saying, who are these people? Who are these people? They're gay people who say, I'm not going to walk down the street naked. Or gay people who say, I'm a gay man, a gay woman. This is the number one issue. And what they're doing is this is their depravity. They bring this guy out, Tyler Cherry. Remember this guy? Remember this one? It was just the other day. They were talking about him as being an associate White House spokesman. I don't know if this is going to happen, but they are so demented that I thought for sure they were going to pull Karine Jean-Pierre out and put him in a dress in front of everybody to completely make you go nuts and lose their mind. So that Pete Ducey can just say, it's a guy in a dress. It's a guy in a dress. Lord Pepsi says, living in current Los Angeles, it's sad to see the misguided and their flawed policies. I can only shake my head. In real life, I can only shake my head. Thanks for all your efforts on YouTube. Thank you, Lord Pepsi. It's sad to see what they are doing. California, and we always have to kind of make fun of it. I don't like to do it because it's like when they make fun of New York and people have never been to New York. California is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. The coastline, parts of it are just gorgeous. To see what people are doing, I don't understand it. And to see how Hollywood, even they don't say anything. There's a stranglehold. They want to destroy this country. They want to destroy this country. Did you notice all these folks? Why are so many people in entertainment? Why do they have non-binary and trans kids? How did that work out? I'm going to give you a scenario. Tell me if there's any truth to this. I'm going to say something and you tell me if there's any truth to this, okay? Or if you can see this is happening. You ready? Okay, here we go. What if I ask you, is it possible that in the halls of Hollywood, in the annals, notice 2 N's, annals of Hollywood, there is a bounty system? All of the, I used to say studios, but we don't have a studio. But anyway, all the big shots say, whoever can get their kid to flip, there's an extra $25 in your Christmas stocking, meaning this will accelerate your position among new movies, new projects, new scratch. How many people believe that's possible? Where they say, okay, And you can just go down the list. You see, oh, you know what the new one is right now? Whenever you hear somebody, especially in the music business, cancel a concert, with the exception of Real Health, for example, like who was it? Ann Wilson, I think it's Ann, right? From Heart. She has some kind of cancer. I loved Heart. She had to cancel her thing. Some people, I think Pink had some kind of problem, but most of the time, like who was it? Jennifer Lopez, right? Was it J Lo who said she wanted to spend more time with her family? Had more. That means they can't sell tickets. They can't sell tickets. Watch something weird to happen with this Justin Timberlake. Watch something very strange happening. That's a weird. That's a weird one. And the one who's blowing up everything. Who? Who is resetting everything? Who is resetting? Who has completely changed? Who makes the stones look like nothing? Who has recreated Taylor Swift? Taylor Swift has done stuff that just blows my mind. It's unbelievable. I don't know why, but it's true. You can't get people to show up en masse like that. It's one thing to say album sales, whatever an album is today. But let me go back to what I'm saying. Hollywood is dying on the vine. Hollywood and Vine, Hollywood is dying on the vine. Theaters being shuttered, everything streaming, Netflix, Broadway too. By the way, Broadway is most of the good stuff is in London, West End stuff, not here. Everything's changing. Everything is changing drastically. They tried this on Broadway. These people came in, these lunatics. They're not lefties. They're like depraved people who believe in all this crazy lunacy. And they decided we're going to make Broadway in our own image. And at first, I remember right before COVID, all of a sudden there were all of these plays that a story about a young man coming on and realizing he's a girl. So nobody wants to see this because you still depend on tourists, bridge and tunnel crowd, Jersey, whatever. They don't want to come into matinees and see this stuff. They have no clue. Just like the Democrats here, they don't know. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't understand that they don't reflect what America's thinking. They don't. So, watch what's happening with this. This is a change drastically. Hollywood is going to be saying, we don't know what to do. We're stuck with this. We're trying to come out and help Biden, but it's not working. Watch what's happening with the quote far right in France. My dear friends, it's over. It is absolutely, positively over. This is the greatest news anybody could ever imagine. And you have waited so patiently. You have been waiting so patiently. You have been so good about this. You have been through. I always remind you of this. What you and we have been through is horrible. Our daring to say that we think Donald Trump's doing a good job has cost us heartache like nobody can imagine. And alienation. But we're going to win again. And the Democratic Party is in complete shambles. And whether it's Biden or whether it's Gavin Newsom or Gretchen Whitmer or whoever, doesn't matter. It's going to be Trump. Guaranteed. Now, my friends, I ask you for the following. This is my wife. This is Mrs. L's YouTube channel. She's got so much stuff. She did a great interview today. You're going to be hearing about this, about how California is becoming the predator paradise by what's happening. It'll be up in a few minutes. You got to watch. You can't believe what they're doing. There is a video baby farms, baby markets, I can't believe what I'm even saying here. Let me tell you one, and this is her link, by the way. So please follow. Let me tell you, if it's not too late. We were telling you for the longest time that there was this movement that people had regarding sex work to make prostitution legal. Okay. By the way, Donald Trump did more to help the case of murdered and missing indigenous girls and women than anybody else. Anybody. Okay. There was a movement for a while back that said we got to have sex workers and we want them to be out because somehow it protects trans people in ways I have no earthly idea how this helps trans people. No idea. No, I've no clue. But what they want to do is they want to legalize. They want to legalize the sex trade. Okay. Now, I used to be, and you're probably one of those libertarian types who really didn't know better, who in my mind said, if two people want to negotiate, if they want to contract for sex, who am I? Who am I to come along and say whatever? Remember the movie Pretty Woman? And it was such a great story, right? Julia Roberts. That was in retrospect, it was horrible. Nobody today wants to be a prostitute. Nobody. Nobody is a free agent. They are subject to predation, human trafficking, control, and ownership. So there is a move now that says, okay, I'll make a deal with you. Let's legalize prostitution for the prostitute. Not only that, legalize it and spearhead green light and fast track statutes to expunge their records so they can go out and put this behind them. Many of them are owned by gangs and cartels. They have actual tattoos like UPC codes. They have codes. They're owned, branded, in essence, with tattoo marks and the like. Let's do that. However, nothing for the pimp, nothing for the John, so to speak. So when somebody says, are you for that? Absolutely, but not for everybody. Let me tell you something right now. Have you noticed, may I ask, take a sample, have you had any Airbnb abuses in your towns, dear friends? Have you noticed anything? Have you noticed this? We have Airbnb is changed everything. And there is no Airbnb because they're like Uber. They're a computer. They just connect people. There is no Airbnb. Most people, believe it or not, here in New York, you can see them all the time. You know exactly who they are. And most apartment homes, condominiums have strict rules against this. People will sublet in any event. Okay. You're going to have Airbnb in your neighborhood that is going to be a pop-up shop for a brothel. You think I'm kidding? You're going to have this in your neighborhood. It's going to be, and there may be some kind of a commercial zoning thing, but they will fix this. So that down the street, you've got cars there. And you're going to have in your neighborhood, I promise you, sex trade, prostitution. This is what they want. What they really want, let me see if I can say this very carefully. What they really want is for New York in particular to be the destination site for sex tourism. Listen to what I'm saying. It's not just here. And there will come a time where you will see on display for purchase, rental, use, how do we say this and not invoke some weird algorithm? The most vulnerable. Okay. I know that sounds bizarre to you. I think you're going to think this guy's gone out of his mind. Oh, absolutely not. They are changing. They are dropping. If you want 4 more years of this, they are dropping consent ages. They're making it easier and easier and easier for people to engage at ages. Do you remember years ago? Anybody remember NAMBLA? Do you remember this? It was called North American Man Boy Love Association. I didn't even think it existed. I thought it was something that talk radio people use whenever there was a slow day. We could say, I don't know, it's a slow day. Let's do a NAMBLA. Okay. Maybe it's me, but because people would just go crazy. We don't know where it was. Somebody said it was like a mail slot someplace. Okay. We thought this was a kind of a joke. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh, it's real. It's real. You have no earthly idea. These people are so vile. And you can look at them, and I don't mean AOC. It doesn't really matter. It's the people, it's this group that has taken over and contaminated, so to speak, and possessed like a virus would this group of people. The depravity. This is the fight of our lives. This is not about borders. This is not about inflation. This is not about defense. This is not about fentanyl or drugs or social media, whatever. This is about everything. This is about absolutely everything. And if this is given 4 more years to get really creative, you're going to see free speech completely be eliminated. When I heard people suggesting that somebody airing a particular way of thinking as to the behavior of a foreign country is somehow deemed and defined as anti-Semitism, I thought, I can't believe what I'm hearing. This is not a joke, my friends. This is not a drill. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not saying this just to, this is, and there are people waiting in the wings. It starts off very, let me ask you a question. Remember a while back, right a little before Trump, they talked about unisex bathrooms. Remember that? The first thing was unisex bathrooms. And we said, why is there this move for unisex bathrooms? Remember that? It was the weirdest thing. I don't know why. All of a sudden. The next thing you know, Rachel Levine. Boom. It's like, what happened? There's no transition. It starts off with something innocuous. And then we jump to the, I look at her and my blood boils. That is a personification. That is the most illegitimate, insincere story of somebody trying to not only proselytize, but rewire, reconfigure, reconnect our basic social, psychosexual, social framework where men and women don't. I mean, that woman, when that one came up, that was it. That was it. Ask yourself this: Pete Booty giggity giggity. So what? He's a gay guy. So what? Nobody cares about that. Good for you. Anybody care that Karine Jean-Pierre is gay? Nope. Nothing to do with it. We don't care about that. We don't care. That's not the thing. That's not it. What's it is children and what they are doing. And one more time, you follow Mrs. L, because I'm telling you right now, she is going to point out stuff to you you've never heard about. And nobody's And also, we're finding out some of the weirdest people. One more time, that's our link. All right, dear friends. That's all I'm going to say. You are incredible. Major Michael says, will media near monopoly for decades with media near monopoly for decades felt immune? Yes, yes. The good news, by the way, Major Michael, is that we are seeing a complete and total revamping, restructuring of media collectively. That's the best thing that's ever happened. Thanks to streaming, thanks to for all of this. Thank God. New stars, new people, new shows, new perspectives, and everything. So, Major Michael, thank you. Lord Pepsi, thank you. Howard Schoonover, thank you. Pilgrim Media, thank you so much. Thomas DeMayo, by the way. By the way, any connection to Roy DeMayo, Gemini Lounge? Sorry. Murder Machine, just kidding. And Park Nelson, thank you. And Peppermint Patty, by the way, is a new member. Bless her heart. Thank you for that. All right, dear friends. Let me also say to you, it is so wonderful being a part of this. I look forward to this. I look forward to the fact that we're almost like a family. I love the fact that we not only speak about what's going on in the world, but you have developed a relationship among each other, which is just, it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious night. Don't ever change me. That sincerely. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. per usual. This has been a wonderful hour and 22 minutes. And I thank you for your time and effort and your attention and your focus and your patriotism and your determination and your fighting spirit. We're going to win. We're going to win. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. And until then, remember these words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya.